The girl I became at a Halloween party. Chris had always found solace in the serenity of his tiny apartment, far removed from the cacophony of office gatherings. Halloween, in particular, held little appeal for him. The idea of dressing up and mingling with coworkers in an over-the-top spectacle seemed more exhausting than exciting. He much preferred losing himself in a captivating novel or an immersive video game, wrapped in the quiet of his own world. Yet, Kelly, his vibrant and persuasive colleague, had a knack for pulling him out of his comfort zone. "Come on, Chris. You've got to break free from your shell this year," Kelly urged, her eyes twinkling with mischief. "Imagine coming to the party as someone totally unexpected. How about we transform you into a glamorous woman? I'll handle everything." Chris stared at her, bewildered. The thought of presenting himself as a woman had never crossed his mind. Yet, the spark in Kelly's gaze felt less like a suggestion and more like a dare. After several days of her relentless persuasion and a growing curiosity he couldn't quite ignore, Chris found himself agreeing. "All right, but you've got to help me," he muttered, bracing for her to burst into laughter. Instead, Kelly's grin widened. "Oh, you're going to love this. Trust me." The night of the party arrived, and Chris stood nervously at Kelly's apartment door. As soon as it opened, she whisked him inside, revealing a chaotic spread of makeup, wigs, and clothes. The array of feminine paraphernalia was overwhelming, but Kelly was undeterred. "We're turning you into a knockout tonight," she promised, already gathering her tools. Chris sat still as Kelly worked her magic. Layers of foundation smoothed his skin, while contouring reshaped his features into sharper, more feminine lines. With each stroke of the brush, Chris felt himself fading, replaced by someone entirely new. The fake lashes were uncomfortable, but they gave his eyes an entrancing depth. The chestnut wig cascaded around his shoulders, transforming his reflection further. Finally, Kelly helped him into a sleek black dress that hugged his newly padded curves, accentuating a figure he never knew he could have. When she stepped back, her face beaming with satisfaction, Chris barely recognized himself. He looked stunning. The man who had walked in was gone. In his place stood an elegant woman, poised and breathtaking. "No one will know it's you," Kelly declared triumphantly. Chris gazed at the mirror, captivated. The figure staring back was not the shy, reserved man he knew. She was confident, alluring, and vibrant, a side of him he had never dared to explore. "Wow," he murmured, entranced by his reflection. At the party, the usual sensory overload hit Chris, but tonight it felt different. The music, lights, and crowd energized him rather than drained him. Shielded by his new persona, he navigated the room with a confidence he never thought possible. No one recognized him, and that anonymity was liberating. Compliments poured in, strangers admired his costume, and he found himself smiling, genuinely enjoying the attention. And then there was Megan. Dressed as a seductive vampire, Megan was every bit as captivating as he had always imagined. When she approached him, curiosity in her eyes, Chris felt a surge of panic mixed with thrill. "You look incredible," she said, her gaze sweeping over him. "I don't think we've met. Who are you?" The chance to be someone else, to be bold, was too enticing. "A friend of Kelly's," he replied softly, his voice a touch higher. "Well, you're stunning." "I love your dress," Megan smiled. They talked, and Chris was surprised by how easy it was. He wasn't the awkward introvert struggling to keep up. He was engaging, charming, and confident. The night ended with Megan slipping him her number, a kiss on his cheek leaving him both dazed and exhilarated. Back at Kelly's, as he wiped away the makeup and shed the dress, Chris felt a profound sense of loss. The woman he had been tonight, the confidence she embodied, was something he wasn't ready to relinquish. "You know," Kelly said gently, "this doesn't have to be just a Halloween thing." Her words echoed in Chris's mind long after he returned to his apartment. The next few days were a blur of introspection. He couldn't shake the memory of that confident, vibrant woman. One evening, he found himself nervously entering a makeup store, purchasing a few basics. Back home, he experimented, recreating the transformation. Each attempt brought him closer to that thrilling sense of freedom. His movements became more assured, the makeup application smoother. The woman in the mirror became more familiar, more real. One night, dressed in his newfound persona, he ventured out into the world. The late streets were quiet, but Chris walked with purpose, heels clicking against the pavement. He wasn't Chris anymore. He was her. And for the first time, he felt truly, unshakably free. From that moment onward, Claire's outings became more frequent and increasingly bold. She wandered through bustling shopping malls, sipped coffee at cozy cafes, and strolled leisurely through moonlit parks. With each venture, her confidence blossomed, and she found herself shedding the remnants of Chris with every step. It wasn't just a transformation of appearance, it was an evolution of identity. Claire was becoming who she had always been beneath the surface. One pivotal weekend, Claire stood before her mirror after perfecting her makeup and slipping into a dress that seemed tailored for her. The image staring back wasn't just a fleeting disguise, it was her true self, radiating confidence and authenticity. The realization hit her like a wave. This wasn't merely a role for Halloween or a secret indulgence. This was her reality. She was Claire, and she was ready to embrace it fully. That Monday, she reached out to Megan, the woman who had stirred something within her at the Halloween party. They met at a quiet cafe, and Claire, heart pounding, decided it was time to reveal her truth. "Megan," Claire began, her voice steady yet tinged with vulnerability, "I need to tell you something about that night at the party. The woman you met, it was me." Megan's eyes widened, her lips parting in surprise. Silence hung between them for a moment before a smile slowly spread across Megan's face. "I thought there was something familiar about you," Megan said softly, reaching across the table to touch Claire's hand. "You were captivating that night, and you still are." Claire exhaled, a rush of relief washing over her. Megan's acceptance was the validation she hadn't dared hope for. "Thank you," Claire whispered, her eyes glistening. "I've decided to live as Claire from now on." Megan squeezed her hand gently. "And I'll be here, supporting you every step of the way." Buoyed by Megan's encouragement, Claire took the next steps in her journey with newfound resolve. She legally changed her name, shedding the remnants of Chris in favor of a life where she could live openly as Claire. At work, she carefully began to share her new identity, bracing for various reactions. To her surprise, many of her colleagues responded with warmth and respect, admiring her bravery. With Megan by her side, Claire explored her femininity in ways she'd never imagined. They shopped for clothes together, Megan introducing her to different styles and helping her navigate the intricacies of makeup and accessories. The bond between them deepened into a relationship built on trust, understanding, and mutual admiration. Claire's journey didn't stop there. She started sharing her story online, connecting with others who resonated with her experience. She found a vibrant community that celebrated her transformation and offered support and solidarity. Events and gatherings became part of her new life, allowing her to meet people who accepted and understood her. Each day brought new lessons and moments of joy. Claire reveled in the freedom to express herself authentically, no longer bound by the fear of judgment. She flourished, both personally and professionally, embracing her identity with every fiber of her being. One evening, standing before her mirror once more, Claire admired the woman she had become. The journey had been challenging, filled with moments of doubt and fear, but it had also been transformative, leading her to a place of self-love and acceptance. She applied a final touch of lipstick, her heart swelling with pride. This was just the beginning. With Megan's unwavering support and a world full of possibilities ahead, Claire felt ready to embrace every opportunity life offered. Her transformation wasn't merely about appearance. It was a declaration of who she was, a celebration of the beautiful, courageous woman she had always been.